All right, Amanda, I'm going to try to show you how to do what you've been asking for with the blanket fade in Photoshop. I have a toddler who's probably going to talk over me, but let's try to get this done. So, in order to do the gradient, you actually don't even need to duplicate your layer here because the gradient is going to create its own layer that you're going to brush off in a mask, which I'll explain in a minute. The background layer you want to leave locked so that if you ever make changes but want to go back to the original, it's always there. So in this layers palette here, we're going to go down to the bottom. There's a few ways to get to the gradient, but we're going to go down here, click this, go to gradient, and you can adjust the angle by moving this or just typing in something different. I'm just going to leave it at 90 for simplicity right now. And this color is coming from my foreground color selected over here. So I'm going to click OK, and then this is our adjustment, which is the gradient, which we can always go back in and change. Okay. And this is our mask, so this is how we brush off what we don't want. White means that this adjustment is showing, black means it's not. So we want to select our brush, which is over here, and we want the black to brush it off right now. So the way that I do this is I start at a really low opacity and flow, and I start with a big soft brush, and I just start brushing off around baby, so it's really gentle in the beginning. And then I go up just a tiny smidge, and I keep going. And I'm using a tablet, which makes it a lot easier to do this. It's a lot harder with a mouse, but and then we're gonna keep increasing. I don't like having the vignette too obvious, so I try to keep it really subtle. And this is really fast for me, so it's not going to be perfect. And then as I start getting really high, I try to keep it much more centered on the subject itself. And then for the baby, I don't want any of this color on here, so I'm going to bring it a full throttle, 100% opacity, 100% flow. And I'm going to brush all of this off of baby. Like I said, not perfect. You can see the lines there, but I would be more specific if I was doing this myself. So there's a lot of ways to do blanket fades. This is one of them. Yeah. And since this was how you were asking to do a blanket fade with a gradient, this is one way you can accomplish it. So I hope that helped. Let me know if you have any more questions.